You are not going to believe how simple this Etsy digital product download is. But I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is right now because I want you to see the proof first. So I'm looking at one listing right now that's doing around 80 plus sales every month. It's a bestseller. It's sitting in 20 plus baskets and has already hit over 900 total sales. And the crazy part is that it's only 9 months old. Now, another one in the same niche, around 72 sales per month and around $800 plus being made. And it's also a bestseller. And it's had 3 people buy it in the last 24 hours alone. And that listing, only 6 months old. Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting. Because it's not just established sellers that are making the sales. There's a newer listing in the same niche that's 1 month old and it's already doing around 133 sales a month. And it also has multiple purchases in the last 24 hours too. I say all this to prove to you that even new sellers with new listings are getting traction in this niche fast. And for anyone thinking, okay, but that's probably a huge complicated product. Nope. There's also another listing, 3 months old, priced at around $3+, doing around 30 sales a month, being made from that one product listing. So we've got big established sellers proof, we've got newer sellers proof, which means that this isn't just a lucky one-off listing. This is a repeatable digital product type which is selling really well right now. So let me show you what it is and exactly how we can make it in Canva, then upload and deliver it on Etsy. Ready? Okay, so the product is a Silly Goose birthday invitation. And I know that sounds rather random, but that's exactly why it sells. Because on Etsy, generic gets buried. But being specific, adding personality, tapping into current trends gets clicks. Silly Goose is one of those phrases people already use as a kind of playful vibe. It's memey, it's cute, it works for kids and it works for adults who want a funny theme. And invitations are such a strong digital product category because people buy them with urgency. Party dates don't wait. They are low risk purchases, usually between $3 to $5, $6, $7. And buyers love editable because it feels instant. And here's the strategy. We're making a Canva template where the buyer can edit the text only. So the design stays clean and protected, and the customer experience is basically buy, click link, edit theme, date and time, download, print. That's it. Simple, fast, very Etsy friendly. So without further ado, let's build it now. Okay, so let's open Canva. Here we are. We are going to click custom size. And the size we are going to go for is we're going to change this to inches. We're going to have width of 5 and height of 7 inches. And then we're going to click create new design. So now we are going to go to file. We're going to click view settings. And then we are going to click show print bleed. This is important because it shows you what might get trimmed when printing. Now let's start to build this Silly Goose invitation. We're going to build it like a template, meaning that the text is clean, readable, and easy to edit. So first, let's start with our text. We're going to click T for text, and that's going to bring that up. We're not going to play with the fonts and things like that. We're just going to align everything that we want on this invitation. So this is going to be editable. So I'm just going to choose a random name. Charlotte, and then and then I'm going to click T for text again because I want this on another line. And so this is going to be a first birthday invitation because that's what I've seen do really well with this Silly Goose kind of theming. And then I'm going to click T for text again. And we're going to just put that there. And then the next thing we want to click T for text for is all the kind of the details, so the date, the time, the address and things like that. So I'm going to say, please join us to celebrate. And then another T. I'm doing all these texts on separate lines because then it just means it's a lot easier for us to move things around and manipulate them if we need to. So now I am going to put the date. So hopefully you follow along as well. Now we're going to put the time. Next, we will put the address. So 123 Harty Lane. I'm just making up an address here. And lastly, we want the RSVP details there too. Okay, so this is the bare bones of the details that we will need for this invitation. Like I said, I put them all on separate lines so that we can move and jiggle them about if we need to. So I'm going to now just kind of evenly space these out. So I'm going to highlight all of them, go to position, and then I'm going to just click tidy up just so that they are all kind of evenly spaced, and it just makes it easier for us to just do our thing with it. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger as well. So as you can see, I haven't done anything such as changing the fonts. I won't do that until the end, until I've kind of arranged all of the elements and the images around this invitation. We're also keeping each line separate so that the buyer can edit without breaking the spacing, and it just makes it easier for them. And on another note, when I am choosing the fonts, and to suggest for you, don't go more than about 2 different fonts maximum. So, for instance, we'll choose one playful font for the headline or the name, and then a more clean font for the details. Still something nice to look at, but just a lot cleaner so that you can see the details easily. Okay, so now we are going to add our silly goose theming. So let's go to elements, and I'm going to type in goose. Most of the kind of geese that I'm seeing on Etsy, they're kind of like that watercolor vibe. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. We also want to make sure that we are choosing graphics that are free for commercial use. So just swing over to price and then click free. And so I'm having a little look through. And if you don't find anything that kind of catches your eye, then the next thing that we can do is to create our own clip art to use. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we will slide back over to graphics, and now we're going to put our prompt up in here. So we kind of want something watercolor, and because it's a birthday, maybe we want a goose that is holding a balloon that says 1 on it. So I'm going to start just playing around with that prompt now. A cute goose. Let's make sure we put watercolor in there. Watercolor goose holding a pink balloon with the number 1 on it. And then I'm going to click generate images. And as you can see, it's now given us some images here. So this one is quite cute. And what we do is we just remove the background there. Let's have a look at this one. This one's nice as well. And then we've got this one. Oh, I quite like this one. If we could remove the background, but in actual fact, that background is actually quite cute as well to use. So what we might do is we might try and manipulate this one to then kind of come up in that background for us. So I'm going to expand this. And that is actually really, really cute. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just expand this a little bit more. Bring it over, bring it across, making sure we don't go across that margin line. And so now what I think would be great is to arrange all of these words around this design. Okay, so I'm going to bring this here. So I might go silent for a little while, just as I am arranging all of this. I'm going to make some of these words a bit smaller because we really want to bring attention to the name and the number 1 and also silly goose. Okay, so I have now arranged these on the page. I'm going to actually lock this in place. So we'll click that lock button so that as I'm trying to move things around, this won't move around as well. And then I'm going to highlight all of those, go to position, and then just tidy them up again so that they are evenly spaced. Now what I'll do is I will just reduce the gap between Charlotte is and 1 and then silly goose. So just bring it up a little bit. Again, click position, tidy up. And then I'm going to highlight all of these, click position and tidy up, which they already are, and then just bring it up a little bit more. Okay, now what I want to do is, so I'm really liking the way this looks so far. I might actually want to possibly play around with making this background image a bit more vibrant. So I'm going to go to edit. And I'm going to go to filters, and we're just going to see if there's anything that can just increase the vibrancy of this. So as you can see, it's kind of, I've gone through a couple of the options here, and it's kind of made the blue more blue, the pink more pink. And another way you can do this is to click that image, go here to color, and then just choose, you know, a different. So that's the way you can change out the colors that appear in this illustration here, is just by clicking the image and then going here and changing out. But I quite like that kind of dusky pink there anyway. So as you can see now, I'm bringing it across and it's making it a lot more vibrant, which I really like actually. So as I'm designing this, as you can see, as you click away, you can see that there is kind of a line there where the image has kind of not filled the whole screen. So all you would do is just resize a little bit so that that can fill up the whole screen. So you're just going to manipulate and maneuver this around so that it is the way it needs to be. And then from there, lock it in place again, and then just move these words over to the side just a little bit more. So now we've got the kind of basis of our invitation here looking really cute. The next thing we want to do is just add some additional detailing. So maybe some watercolor florals might be nice here. So what we might want is a watercolor floral garland that we can kind of drape around the edge. And because we want because it's for a girl, let's see if we can choose a pink color. So if we go here, scroll to pink. Now it's going to give us a selection of watercolor florals that are in this pink color, but this is a bit too vibrant, not quite what we want. So I'm going to just remove that. So this illustration might work because it kind of is in keeping with the kind of style of this, this whole invitation. And we could just have it draped in the corner there a little bit. And then Control C and then Control V, that's copy and then paste, and then kind of bring it across to the other corner as well. So if the border isn't, if we're not showing enough of this border, all you do is just bring the invitation down a little bit in order to then just make a bit more space for that border. So lastly, we want to change our fonts out. So like I said, we don't really want to go more than about 2 different fonts. So there's a font that I use quite a lot. It's the Seasons. I really like that font. So I'm going to have the name in that font. What I might do is actually separate the name and is. So there's that. And then I want that kind of is in a kind of more handwritten font there. Like a cute handwritten font. So that's quite cute. And then the number 1, we will have it as Seasons again. And then all this information here. So Silly Goose will be Rumba, Resize. And then all of this can be the same font as before. So that's Poppins. We want it to be Seasons. This one too. And this, and this. Now what I want to do is just swap out the color of this font. And as you can see, I've brought out the color palette, and it's actually giving us selections of colors that match what is already here. So I'm going to choose that pink, and then I'm going to click change all, and that is lovely. I might actually change the 1 to maybe a green color just to give it some more interest there. Now after this, you might want to tweak a few things, maybe make some of the fonts a bit bigger, but this is just showing you a really quick way of recreating this kind of Silly Goose invitation using Canva AI as well for our graphics. Now what we want to do is we want to make it a text-only editable format for our end customer the smart way. So like I said, we want them to be able to edit text only, not move these graphics around. So here's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to duplicate this page, and on the duplicated page, we are going to remove all the text so that we are only left with these graphics. Now what we're going to do is we're going to download this page 2 as a high quality PNG. So download that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to upload that PNG back into Canva. So let's just bring that over here, and then it should start uploading. And then whilst it's doing that, we are going to add a fresh page. And then once it's downloaded, we will then put this image on that new page there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to our text, and we are going to just select all the text there. To do that, I'm holding down the Shift key, and now I'm going to click Command and C, come all the way down, and then Command and V, and that will paste that all there. So as you can see now, this background is, all you can do is just move the background around, but you can't actually move any of the images, like any of the individual images. All your end customer will be able to do now is just swap out this text for whatever it is that they want. So now your customer can edit the text, but they can't grab the individual design elements. Now we will create the Canva template link that people will be able to click in order to be able to edit the details on this template. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the pages that we don't need so that we've only got this editable one here. Now we're going to click share. We're going to go to template link, and this template link option only works with the paid version of Canva. I definitely recommend that you get the paid version of Canva because it's such a no-brainer kind of investment into your digital products business. So yeah, definitely upgrade if you haven't already. And then we're going to click create template link. From there, we will copy that template link. And that is basically, that link is your product access for your customer. Now I'll show you how to deliver this link to your Etsy customer using a PDF thank you file. And if you want this thank you file, then please comment download in the comments below and I'll share it with you. So this is a kind of download document that I use for any of the products that need that editable link there. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to here, I'm going to insert the product name, which is One Silly Goose Invitation. And then I'm just going to highlight all that, click here and paste that link that we copied from before. And now what that means is when your customer opens that in Canva, they will then be able to edit that invitation as they like. This template here, you can put your shop name down here at the bottom and maybe even a link back to your shop so that they can come back to you to make other purchases. Remember, if you want access to this, then comment download in the comments below. One additional thing I've added to this download instructions template, which will be really helpful for you, is a kind of printable guide there. So it's got kind of the instructions of what you do after you open your Canva link, details on the things that are customizable, how to download it, printing options, professional printing. So that's just kind of to ensure that your end customer knows how to use this template. So after making this download instructions template, you would just then rename it. So One Silly Goose. And then we're going to download that as a PDF. And then we will move on over to Etsy and I will quickly show you how to upload this. So you click listing, add a listing. And here I'm not going to be showing you all the nuances of keywords and how to title, but you're going to click your category. The top category here is suggested as digital prints, but I might choose invitations here. So just make sure you have a look through all of these categories and choose the one that is most aligned. I'm actually going to choose invitation templates because that's what this is. It is a digital file. Who made it? I did. What is it? A finished product. When was it made? It was made recently, so 2020 to 2026. So for this section, how is this digital content created? Because we did use the Canva AI kind of facility, I would say with an AI generator. There doesn't seem to be any issues with stating that. But if you do just actually create it from scratch using the elements in Canva, then you would just say created by me. But in this instance, I'm saying with an AI generator. Now we click continue, and here you would then type in your title. So Silly Goose Invitation template. I'm just doing this off the cuff because I would definitely say to do some research, look at some of the best-selling listings, and then base your title off of what you see recurring in those best-selling titles. But I'm just going to type here, Canva editable, first birthday. And what you do want to try and do is make sure that you're not duplicating any of the keywords in this title as well. So first birthday and party printable. I would definitely suggest to use as many of the characters as possible. Again, I am just doing this for just efficiency, just making it easy for you to follow, but definitely try and fill out this whole 140 characters if possible. Now here you would upload your mock-ups, and your mock-ups are going to include a picture of this invitation and then just different ways of using it as well. If you want a separate mock-up video, then let me know in the comments as well, and that's something that I can put on the list to do for next time. So here is where we're going to upload this download instructions template. So we're going to add that. And that is going to be what our end customer will click on to then access that template. Here, you're going to put the description. In the description, you definitely want to make sure that you are using all relevant keywords, but in a way that is natural and that gives your end user a really good insight. So you want things such as sizing, how to use it, how easy it is to customize within Canva, and then just some really nice blurb that relates to One Silly Goose and a first birthday as well. Now here you're going to put your price and inventory. For this listing, I'm going to start lower, and there is a reason for that, which I will tell you shortly. Quantity, we want 999. That's the most you can put in there. And then just have a quick look. You might want to add things such as primary color, the orientation. It is vertical, occasion, first birthday, celebration. There's nothing to choose here. And then the tags as well. Tags are very important. If you want a separate tags video, let me know. But again, you kind of want to make sure that you're getting the most important tags there. So One Silly Goose, first birthday, invite, and so on and so forth. And then from there, I would definitely say to switch on Etsy ads. Again, I will tell you about that shortly. And then you might want to feature that listing in your shop as well. After that, you just go ahead. You can preview that listing or save it as a draft if you're not quite ready to go live with it, or click publish. And that is how easy that is to do. Now, because we're validating this idea and not overthinking it, here's the exact rollout I do. Launch with a lower introductory pricing for a few weeks to get traction of maybe $2 to $3. Run a $2 a day Etsy ad spend just to get eyeballs, and increase the price slowly after you start seeing sales. What you want to do is watch the views to sales ratio to see if your designs are resonating with your audience. If the views are high and sales are low, tweak your thumbnails, your title, and your first photo. If sales come quickly, duplicate into more variations. And if you want to skip the design work entirely, this exact template that we've made today is available in my PLR Essentials and Online Income Studio Premium membership, where you can grab ready-to-use designs and get them listed faster. Link is in the description, but there's no pressure. I just wanted you to know that it's there if you want the shortcut. Now, if you're serious about building an Etsy store with digital products that actually have demand, I want you to watch this video next, because it will help you decide what to create after this invitation. And if this video helped, hit the like and subscribe button. I post simple digital product tutorials that actually work for beginners. Remember, you don't need to have a perfect product. You just need one simple product with clear demand and the willingness to test it. Small steps lead to big success. See you in the next one.